And we can just dance the night away until we get no more. I'll shake all the hurt away so you can feel and forget who you used to be. For just tonight, could you just dance the night away?
I kind of wish that the rangers' pets could be used more often. Like the different varieties for different builds and things. There's only like a handful of them that ever really get used. I kind of wish more would get used. I think it would be a very interesting lineup. Or another thing that could be done is that you could imbue certain pets, because I do think some people really like certain pets just due to the aesthetics of that pet. Like, I know some people that are Savarian players that like the Savarian Hound, and it's just, they like dogs, and it fits their character because of the ranger they've got going on, or the build they've got going on, that kind of thing. And it just kind of fits the aesthetic. It'd be interesting if you could imbue certain pets using, natural, like, stuff. Someone's over here. You know what I mean? Like, you could actually, like, imbued them with those things, you know, with the power and things. I'm actually gonna go here and continue beating at this ice since there's someone there to watch the flag. But yeah, like, say for instance, if you take your hound, you can go and imbue them with power to make them a little bit more stronger. They may not be as strong as the, you know, the DPSers and stuff, but it may have a little bit of swiftness to it and that kind of thing. So you can make a little bit more of a variety combo in that regard. Essentially, you can have like a combo, like so for instance, like the cheetah gives you swiftness, but imagine being able to imbue the cheetah with Condi. So then you can do more Condi damage and you have quickness, which works really well with Condi quickness builds. Or like you could make it a little easier to make one too. Or like doing quickness and healing, like imbuing the Jacaranda with some speed or something. I don't think the Jacaranda does speed. But like the idea behind it is I think that would be neat in regards to, I saw something blow up over here. In regards to being able to kind of customize your experience a little bit. Yeah. I thought I saw something explode over this way. Was it just me? Was I just hallucinating? Alright, there's the one with the helping the... I was a little worried I wouldn't find enough events, but it seems like I'm finding a decent amount of events, so... See if we can get these guys up and running. I also kind of wish there was some better, like, combat gear, like weapons for underwater stuff. I still think we should get a map that is underwater, and that in order to go, like, imagine the trench, like, how we have like the trench in the real world. There's like a map that's like that, but it's not just that. It's like you have to like use like weighted boots and magic breathing gear. So you would need like magic boots that like weigh you down, kind of like in Zelda, how you've seen that, like the water temple ones, like that. But also you would need like to add like a like it's like an agony resistance type thing, where it's like that kind of imbuement. You can add it to your legendary or your basic underwater breathing materials, and it acts like a agony +9 or agony +5 or whatever, and then you have the other boons to it. So because I think it'd be cool if it's similar to like the runes and stuff, where you can add things to it. I like how they just added runes as an actual thing. They just added another box. You know, I like that. It's kind of cool. But maybe you could do something like that with the face mask, so people don't have to upgrade their gear per se. Because like, obviously, the new maps gave a lot of legendary underwater gear, so they could use the next thing, the next tier up, which would be getting like a... There's a legendary or a champion here. Someone's got a pretty gun there, pretty harpoon. Anyways, but like imagine like the what's the word I'm looking for? being able to add a component to your mask and stuff that replaces your AR slot, but it still has like the AR aspect to it, so it doesn't affect your fractals, that kind of thing. But it makes it to where you can breathe deeper, because the deeper you go down, the harder it is to breathe because of pressure. So, and you can have it to where it's like this trench area. It's really dark at first. You go down really deep. You need the boots to go down to investigate some strange magics that are going on, or strange things that you're seeing. And as you're doing that, you also have to have the magic component added to your thing, because the magic down there is very potent, and it makes the water even more pressurized. So your character has to wear like kind of like gear and stuff like that, or has to like imbue their gear with magic so that things can kind of go smoother. Then when everyone's fighting, instead of floating through the water, your weapons would still be the same. But instead of floating through the water, they're standing on the bottom like this, and you're running around kind of like on the bottom. Maybe your character runs like a little slower, or maybe they instead of like having like the full run, they have like their arms are kind of like more in a swimming motion kind of thing. But I like the idea of being on the bottom, because I feel like being on the bottom of the water it takes the floatiness away, but it also gives you a chance to kind of introduce lots of other weapons. I feel like water combat doesn't have enough weapons to justify the frustrations. Because while it's fun, it's really hard to target enemies in the water. Maybe even add a mastery that has water sense, which allows you to see the targets around you. Kind of like how the Warclaw has a sensor like that. Because you can like sniff the air and see targets in World vs. World. And in game, you can also see it with NPCs and stuff. So that could be something similar. It could obviously have a shorter range, but it makes it to where you can see it better. That kind of thing. But I kind of think that there should be more magical weapons that are water-based than there are. Because, let's be real, it's a world of magic. They should have more than just that. Because the spear is cool and all that they added. But I really like the harpoon gun. I would like something a little bit more different. Or even just magic spells. Imagine being able to change out your harpoon for spell slots, where you could customize what these skills are. Right? Imagine a weapon that you could craft, or even like a harpoon that you could take in there, and instead of having the skills that are in there, you can pick them. So in order to get and to pick them, you have to imbue them with 5 different like slots to pick the select thing, right? And then you can imbue them with 1 elemental or 1 perk boon, because or like you could do that to the runes, I guess, but like you could make it to where you get 1 part basically. Sorry, I need to go back to the gear part. Like how you have like the stat block here and stuff. So you'd have you could use any of the stat blocks that they normally use. You can add runes to add effects to it, just like any other weapon. I'm trying to see if there's anything else nearby. But in order you can change your 1 through 5s essentially by imbuing it, and it's like one-time thing though. So once you do it, you can't change it back, kind of thing. In order to make players choose wisely. And also to add a little bit of value to it in that regard. I don't think a jumping puzzle counts as an event, right? Surely not. But, like, I think that'd be kind of cool. Because one thing about... Okay, like, I love my harpoon gun because I love the pushback, which is like the little ink splotch skill. I like the piranhas. I am not a fan of all of the spear skills. Or the trident skills or whatever. I don't know if I have a spear or trident, one of the two. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't hate it. It's just not... I just don't love it. I would like more throwing skills, where I could throw my spear at things. I think there's only 1 or 2 skills you can use to throw at an enemy. I just don't know. I like having range in the water because I can reach it better. It's not like in on the land where I can dodge. And even the dodging underwater isn't my most favoriteest way to do it, Because, like, you can dodge, but it kind of just pushes you backwards or forwards. It doesn't really... Like, you can't really dodge left or right the way you can on solid ground. Which is why I also said that adding a map that had, like, a trench theme to it makes it to where you could actually make it to where people can roll, because you could just make it to where they look floaty without actually having the 3D, like, fighting situation going on. Another thing is that you can make it to where most of the game has you going from one waypoint to the next, and the rest of the map is really, really dark for the most part, kind of like a like almost like the lantern fish, or that what they call them, the oh, it's the one that like baits the enemies with I can't remember what it's called now, but it's like a fish that like uses light to bring in predators, right? So you have to go from one light to the next, otherwise you risk things attacking you because they think you're prey and stuff like that. So you have to kind of deal with that. Sorry, we're trying to kill him. There are so many of these mothers around here. What is going on? Kind of interesting. Anyways, but like, so I was trying to get the word that I'm thinking of. They, like you'd have to swim from one waypoint to the next, or maybe the only time you're able to not float is when you're under the light. And the reason for that is that the light is magically imbued and therefore is... Oh, I hate that. It's targeting me because I have the aggro on me. Could be worse. There we go. Sorry, I was trying to slow him down just a little bit. There we go. But anyways, so when you're in the light, your float, it sinks you down because of the magic, and that's part of the reason why it's like that. It's like interesting in that regard. And then when you're in the dark, you float around and you have to deal with predators and stuff. Another thing could be that with your masteries, one of the masteries could be that you can see in darker water, meaning you're able to visibly see a little bit better underwater. And that's like all over the game. But like especially in those maps with the dark thing. Because I think another thing that could be interesting is that when you first start in that map, dark water or darker, deeper, colder water or whatever is dangerous because things are preying in there, but you so you can get kind of mugged, kind of like how they have the little raptors in Hot. Kind of like that, except not the same exact thing. But the idea behind it is that you get mugged a lot easier. I do like the fact that in Hot you have invisible enemies that you can't see until you master it, and then you can see the invisible enemies and things. It's really cool. It sucks being the player that can't see the invisible enemies, but it's kind of cool when you can see them, and it's not necessarily OP because the NPCs that are hiding are not normally that crazy. I mean, like, they're not like a game-breaking change. Like, you seeing it doesn't change a thing. It's not like when players go invisible in PvP, you know what I mean? So, if they go invisible in PvP, you can't see them. See, like, I find that way fairer. Because if you had the ability from Hot, and then you could see people in PvP when they turn invisible, that would suck. And yeah, you can still, like, see people in... Oh, it's kind of cute just seeing them sit on the snow. That or their feet are phased through the ice. I don't know which. It is what it is on either way. But I wonder if there's any things up here. Because there's the ice brew area up here. Sometimes there's stuff up here. But, like I said, it's kind of cool where you can see invisible enemies. So it'd be kind of cool if with the dark vision or the night vision, you can see better at night. Or you can turn it on and off, kind of like these skills, where it's like the wing thing you have right here. Yeah, see, let's wonder about this. There's champions over here. And you can see them a bit better. Is this the fish one? So someone came in and killed the Coda ones, but they didn't get the fish one? I guess that makes sense. It's probably a nuisance. But yeah. See, like, I like some of them, but some of them are just a little awkward to use. And then there's also the fact that if you surface on the water, then you have problems with that. See, I'm like, I always found the fact that you could just go to the surface and like level, like heal, which is kind of annoying. It's cool, but it's kind of annoying because it's not that like, I don't know. It's not that groundbreaking in my opinion. It's okay. It's just not super amazing. Ugh. I don't know if he... I'm trying to remember. I don't know if he actually does enough damage to matter. A little, I guess. I also noticed that my Jade Bud doesn't work in water, which is a little sad. But, what are you gonna do? See, like, this fight's way more annoying than it should be because it's really hard to angle yourself into a better position. Because I have to go down under the water, and he stays pretty up top in the water, and it's not like other like flat grounds where I can kind of run around a little bit. It's also the fact that I obviously don't have ascended gear, and I don't shoot like have like a power. I probably if you got close to the land, I theoretically probably could, you know, do some damage, but some of them are like blocked where you can't do that with them. I guess I'm a little farther away. I don't even know who I have as a secondary pet. But yeah, like, and that's the thing. It's like there is not enough meta of water things to do to improve upon the formula. I would like some improvements on the formula. I've kind of got them to behave now. Thank God. As long as I can avoid my pet dying automatically, I think will be great. But, like, I tend to use the harpoon gun more than I do anything. And a lot of people like the spear. They say it's fun. I have never really used the spear, so it's not something I spend my time doing. But I like this skill, like the piranha skill. It's so fun. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, I don't think, because, again, my gear isn't great, but it's still fun. There we go. It's like I said, if a shark can hang in there long enough for me to let number 5 fill up, then I can back off and it's not a big deal. Sorry, there's a lot of clicking and a lot less fancy stuff. We're getting there though. There we go. Okay. This fight just took longer than it necessarily needed to. Alright, there's that. Awesome. 2 more, like, here, and I'll actually have, this one done for weeklies. Cool. Well, that didn't take as long as I thought it was gonna take. I don't think an hour is that bad. Not for this. But yeah, like, I think that there's some good opportunities for some underwater combat, but they would really need to, like, overhaul it. They could overhaul it using, an expansion as an excuse. Especially with how... Like, if I found out you know, soon... Oh, goodness, there's a bunch of these. If I found out recently that they were planning to do that with... Sorry. Try and back up the way. Weird. Oh, they got the waves going on. That's what's going on. I was like, these are cool. Why are they here? They got some waves going upstairs. But yeah, they'd be kind of cool if you could, like, using... Okay, if I found out tomorrow that they have a new expansion coming out and it's all water-based, I would not be surprised. I'd not be surprised. I would kind of be expecting it. It kind of feels like that since they have given people some legendary gear to work with. That kind of thing. I don't know where... I see the fight is over here. I guess we should just go over here and find out. So we got legendary gear from the newest expansion. Oh god, what the heck? Fell into a hole. Oh, I was expecting the poles to be a thing. They're not. Maybe they are, and I just jumped on the netting more than I jumped on the pole part. Who knows? I'm just not having a good enough day, am I? Okay. Sorry, my voice is a little dry. It's just the weather. But, like I said, it's one of those things that's like, it would be really, really cool if, there we go. Did that not count as an event? It did, okay. I wasn't sure if it would. Because I only got to help a little bit.
One of their champion core remains. Until it's eliminated, we'll be unable to clear the sanctuary. The voice will be safe, so long as we're on the offensive.
Sorry, I was reading her name. We have a fight a boss now. But yeah, like I think like I could see it being a good lineup. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's their next plan. I just hope that they do a really good job. Because like I said, water just needs a real overhaul. Give us some masteries to make it happen too. Because like I think you could make it better with masteries, similar to how they added the masteries for the pets and the mounts. I know a lot of people were mad saying, well, that should have been given, that should have been a default, blah, 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 blah. Look, it's a lot of coding. It's a lot of coding. It's a lot of going back. It would undermine a lot of people's experiences with the game, right? Think about it. People got really mad when they did the fractal event and people got this. That was 1,000 of your weekly points for that, okay? That is not some small amount. But they got mad at people for that because they're like, well, it makes the pink one not work or not be as valuable. I'm like, well, maybe they'll change that. It was meant to let people who didn't have any agony jump into fractals so that they wouldn't be scared. And it did work. It inspired a lot of people to do fractals, which is good because fractals are a really fun farm to do, and they're not as hard as they seem. And it's not a shaming of anyone for being scared or being concerned or being a little tiptoey around it. I get it. It's a lot. It's a big ask. Try to decide if I want one of these weapons here. I was under the impression you only get one, but someone was telling me you can get more than that. I'm not gonna lie, I would probably need the sword more than I need the staff, because most of my characters who have staffs have them already. But also, I don't know, I might just buy it and see. Oh. Yeah, so you only get one of them? Or do you get both access to them? Speak with, okay, so they're in the stand. They're, over there. Do I have it in my inventory, or is it just something that's unlocked? Have I just unlocked the ability to, like, make it? That makes more sense. If it was an unlockable of, now you can craft it, woo! That makes sense. Does it suck? Sure. But, you know. Privileges of being able to afford. Alright, so we're gonna grab these lanterns while we're at it. I really should grab the build thing at some point. Build store experiment. How much do I have this? I think it's gear that I don't have. Yeah, I don't have the equipment. I have plenty of builds slots. I actually have too many on this tune. I only need 5, especially since I'm doing a hand kite now. I don't know if I'll ever use the hand kite, but I have it. I also had recently came across that as a weird thing with some players. I was joining in a random raid and people were like, I need get someone swap with me to do this, blah blah blah, you know, that kind of thing. And I was like, I can do that. And it was weird because I've noticed it with Quick Fracs. I've had this comment made to me a few times about in Quick Fracs and in no, it was basic fracs and it was quick raids that made this comment. But I had two people make a comment about how, oh, I'm so happy, thank you for being so flexible. And I'm like, that's how, like, I didn't say it like in chat to them, but I said to my guild, I'm like, isn't that what you're supposed to like do? The idea is to get good with a decent build and then have a little bit of flexibility to do other things. And they're like, not necessarily. They're like, I only do this, and then people start talking about it. So I was like, maybe I'm just the weirdo. But it was weird for me to get complimented for it because I just didn't think anything of it. I'm just like, yeah, it just makes sense to run around with a DPS and a healer like on tap. Oh no, it's not saying anything bad about those people. It just seems weird because it just didn't occur to me. I have spent so much time having that flexibility and wanting that flexibility so that I could be useful for teams. Maybe it's because I don't know if I don't really know how raids work now, but if you weren't useful enough, they would kick you. Like, they would be like, okay, cool, well, we don't need a DPS or we need a healer. Bye. You know? So I do remember that being a thing when I was training with the raid. My guild members wouldn't do it to me, but there were obviously some random groups I was joining for practice that were like, no, we don't need you, you can leave. You know, that kind of thing. And so it's weird for me now because I'm like, I just have multiple builds for my ranger. I need to do it with my other classes too. So that I don't miss out, because I was missing out before because I didn't have any builds outside of a DPS. I had a DPS build, I didn't have any healer. And then once I built a healer, then I didn't have that issue as much. Let me see if I had anything else I can throw in here. Oh, karma, I can eat that. I need to upgrade some more material. I've been upgrading like these materials and stuff to the next tier, and it's like eating away at everything. I'm just gonna drop that. I don't need that. I do need 7 slots to work with, though.
This is the only proper course.
Yeah, but it's weird to get complimented for being flexible when that was like that was almost expected of you in raids, was to be flexible. I guess I got that impression because guild members when I first started were mentioning that if you really want to be serious about it, you have to be flexible. So I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was part of the parkour. Like, it was part of that. But from what I've heard, it's not. And the same thing with fractals, too. There's not a lot of players that want to be flexible like that, which I feel like is just a chance of missing some good opportunities. Oh my god, am I full? Okay, I was about to say, I was going to be freaked out. I was like, I don't have that many. I ecto gambled recently and won. But I was about to lose my mind. I'm like, there's no way. So I'm glad that that's not the case, because that would have been awful, because it would have given me an excuse to go gamble. Like, that's why I'm like, oh, thank God I'm still using it. I'm still like crafting things and like putting things to use, and I'm not running out of space.
Look at this.
I'm not having to worry about it. Whew. All right, we're gonna get some more luck. I have got so much of this made up. Do I need any more? Yeah, see, like, I've been eating them as stacks. I kind of wish I could go higher than this. I've been, like, eating stacks of it, so I need, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I only need 5. Probably less than 5 on my gear, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I can get away with 4 parts, but there is the gloves, too. Ah, went up. Yay. Nice. Sorry, I shared my magic find. I also have these. I can't remember what I want to do with those. I have those, but I don't know what I need them for. Like, okay, I know I need them for gloves, like to get the legendary heavy and light, but I don't know if I really will bother with it. I think, because here's the thing. I say that because I think I've unlocked this. You unlock the skin for all of the different ranks for those gloves. Since I have those legendary gloves, I had to get on my like heavy or light to see. But I was pretty sure that when you use them, you would you get the skin for all 3 classes. And the only reason I said is that I do plan to make I could make gloves of the oh, what's it called? What's this one? This one right here. It's the obsidian. So what I'm saying is I have the gloves here and I put them on a medium character. But when I do the obsidian gloves here, if I choose to do them, I could put them in heavy or medium because I think I've got the skin for all the classes for this, so I don't need this specific one. I don't need to unlock the other ones to get the skins for it. So I might do that, which means I have these things. I don't need more than one of them. And then I also need to save 5 stacks of those for that. So the rest of the gear. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, see, like these ones right here. I'm literally just missing this part and these. This is just 200 gold, basically. Incursion tokens. Trade this with this thing for the vendor. Okay. See, and I could trade this too. I don't know if I want to do that. I kind of like the idea of not having to do that until I can get the thing. I don't know if I want to do it because it's such a, you can't get it back. It doesn't come back. If it comes back again, maybe. I'm just talking to them now. I'm just kind of gabbing with them. Oh, hold on. Let me go all the way back. Interesting. So, sorry, I was reading back on this. I haven't come back in here in a little bit. But yeah, I know I can get the gloves. So that's what I was saying. I wondered if I should...
What?
Yeah, so here's the gear. I didn't get all this gear, I don't think. Or if I did... Maybe I did get all this gear. Not that I need it. But I think I unlocked the skins for these guys. Yeah, that one I did. I don't know about this. Yeah, I think I did. Okay. Because I remember doing a lot of it. Okay, so I'm forward with that. Because that's the only reason I'd ever buy any of these is if I needed them for gear and stuff. Do we have another NPC here? I wanted to see if one of the NPCs are selling, like, things and whatnot. I guess I don't think he's selling the weapons, because I don't think this one's that useful. I don't know what, because there was weapons I didn't get, I don't think. I think that was the only thing I didn't get was weapons, because I didn't really care. Because I don't need to worry about them. They're exotic weapons, and I have a legendary bow and exotic... They were exotic weapons, and I have legendary and exotic weapons. I don't really want to step down, kind of thing. Anyways, we're going to end this video here. And like I said, next week we'll try and make videos involving fract informations and deeper... shorter, to the point... tutorials on those so that people can get into them a little bit better. I'm posting it to my guild's chat too, so that some of our guildmates can look at it, because some of them are on at different times because of their kids and their wives and husbands and things, so that might give them something to look into if they were interested in hearing it. But you know, that's on the, you know, that's up to them on that matter. I'm not gonna push it, but I know some people have individuals they're watching like on YouTube that are big, that are their teachers, and I have no shame for any of my guildmates who want to go to them more, like, you know. Anywho, but it's just there in case there's someone who wants it, and then that kind of thing. Alright, we are gonna do that.
And we can just dance the night away until we get no more. I'll shake all the hurt away so you can feel and forget